What's up guys, Matt and Blake from the Football Boots team, and today is all about Adidas football boots, but more specifically the elite tier models. So find out which one really is the best and more importantly the best suited to you. Now I've got the Nemeziz, the Messi Nemeziz and the Pure Control, and Blake has.
I have the Glitch and the Pure Speed. It's a very tough call, 5 very high performing football boots, but which one is best? Let's find out.
So a really good place to start is by talking about each model's upper. Now you guys might not realise, but each of the elite tier boots by Adidas have slightly alternative uppers on them. Now we're going to start by talking about the Pure Control, which comes with Prime Knit. Now Prime Knit's been around for a little while by Adidas, and it's actually a very high quality one on the market. It's not too thick, it's soft, flexible and quite thin, very popular and one I really enjoy. Now they've also got another synthetic out there on the Pure Speed, very similar to one you found on the Pure Cast as well. It's a thin synthetic, but overall feels a little bit softer and more flexible to me compared to the Prime Knit. But apart from these two boots that I've just spoken about, Blake's also got some knitted variations as well.
So before I go on to the Nemeziz, the thickest upper on Adidas's premium level boots is probably the Prime upper of the Pure Control. And the thinnest is probably the Pure Speed upper with that thin synthetic, but the Agility Knit probably sits in between. So the Nemeziz has that Agility Knit 2.0 on its boot. It's quite soft, but not as soft as that Pure Speed's upper. Again, if I bring this one and compare this to the Messi one, this has the original Agility Knit upper on the original Messi 16.1 and Pure Agility. So this is the same upper as the same upper you get on the Glitch. So again, Agility Knit, it's not the softest, but it's still quite soft. And the other upper on the Glitch is a standard synthetic. So this could be very close to what you get on a Pure Speed. So if I just take the inner shoe out here, as you can see, it's really thin and soft. So a lot of different uppers on Adidas's boots.
So at the end of the day, they're all pretty decent, and fair play to Adidas, they are very high quality. But what it really comes down to is personal preference. Now if you want a very barefoot feel, the Pure Speed is probably going to be the best option for you in my opinion. But if you want a little bit more cushion feel, then the Prime Knit like found on the Pure Control is also going to be brilliant as well. But which one would you personally go for?
I would go for a combination of thin and thick, which is Agility Knit. So Agility Knit is not as thin as the Pure Speed, but I'm going for the Agility Knit 2.0 on the original Nemeziz. This is the Messi Nemeziz. It has the original Agility Knit from the Messi 16 range. It's much thinner than the Agility Knit 2.0. Agility Knit 2.0 is a bit more 3D. It's going to provide a bit more friction on the ball when striking and passing.
Now we've just talked about the uppers on each model, but one thing which is very important, especially to me, is the actual feel of it, the texture on top. Now one thing that I love so much about the Nemeziz, as Blake mentioned, that Agility Knit 2.0 feels very rough and almost very grippy, which is obviously a massive bonus for me. Completely on the other end of the scale, this Glitch synthetic is very smooth, so I wouldn't personally like this actual upper, but the Nemeziz 2.0 I think is great. Now alongside the actual feel, Adidas's elite tier boots come with NSG, and Blake's actually found something quite interesting about the new Pure Speed.
Now the main change from the X17 Plus Pure Cast to the X17 Plus Pure Speed was that texture change. Now we all see a dotted application on the X17 Plus Pure Speed. In hand, it's actually quite grippy. I actually really rate that, especially in wet conditions. I see it working really well. It's quite smooth, but with that dotted application, it's going to be quite effective. Now the Pure Control has a relatively smooth synthetic upper, and that NSG on top does provide a little bit of grip. So this is really similar to the Nemeziz top skin on those two boots. So they're quite smooth, but overall with that NSG provides a little bit more grip.
Now the next feature that we'll be talking about is a massive feature of Adidas elite tier boots, and that's their lacing systems. Now listening to the guys talking about the Nemeziz, the ones who actually created it, a guy called Sam Handy, he is convinced that the future of football boots are laceless technology, something which I don't personally agree with. The Nemeziz, he said, were made for Messi, but he wears the lace version, so a little bit of conflicting views there. But one thing we have to talk about is true laceless and the ones with a lace cover, like on the Pure Cut ones which I've got here. Now I've got the Pure Speed, which has laces covered by the Pure Cut, and also the Glitch, which doesn't feature any laces, but it almost features a Pure Cut cover because of the two-part piece technology. Now what ones are the ones that you've got?
So I've got the ACE17 Plus Pure Control. As you all know, it's been laceless. The ACE16 Plus Pure Control was laceless, a very barefoot touch on the ball, but now we have Adidas's second pro level laceless boot. I'm not counting the glitch because it's not really mass produced, but the Nemeziz has a very compressed barefoot feel on the ball. No laces. You can get laces with the Messi Nemeziz 17.1 versions, but these have no laces. It's a much more compressed feel than what you get on the ACE17 Plus Pure Control. The profile or the silhouette of the ACE17 Plus Pure Control is quite high. It's a very fun boot, but it's not the most responsive. In terms of responsiveness, the laceless Nemeziz is probably the most responsive. Which one would you go for?
Do you know what? At the end of the day, for me, I would still get a laced pair of football boots. I don't believe the hype about collars, and I don't believe the hype about laceless technology. So for me, I'd say laces, but if I were have to choose an option from the ones we have, I think I'd go for the bandage of the Nemeziz just because it fits very snugly, and also it doesn't really feature a collar too high up my ankle. What about you?
I would go with the laceless Nemeziz over the Pure Control just because it's going to be much more responsive, as well as that the glitch and the pure cut cover on the X17 Plus Pure Speed. I don't like that with the laces underneath. The bubble is just really bad. It hurts when you strike the ball, so I'm going with the Nemeziz.
So one feature which I've already mentioned in this video and almost in every one of our videos is that I don't believe in collar football boots. It makes no difference to performance, and also I find them even less uncomfortable than traditional low cut boots. But on Adidas's elite tier boots is actually some different kind of collars. We've got the control skin of the Pure Control and also the dual lock of the Nemeziz. Now what have you got?
We've also got Tech Fit. So Tech Fit arrived in 2016, but Tech Fit remains in the X17 Plus Pure Speed, as well as the glitch. Now I think I rate the Tech Fit collar the highest out of any collar. Maddie, which collar are you going for?
Do you know what? I would prefer the Nemeziz because to me it doesn't feel like a collar around my ankle, but it has one massive flaw, and only one thing I mentioned after testing them. Right at the back you get a massive blister when you actually do test them, because you do actually get a little bit of a digging sensation across the Achilles. Not the best feeling, and as I said, it can cause some pain. So for that reason, I'm going to say the control skin of the Pure Control, because it's fairly low, much lower than what you find on Nike's Dynamic Fit collar, and it also fits very snugly, much more compared to the Tech Fit, which is a little bit loose for me. Now with almost every single brand new release coming out from these big football boot brands, a huge talking point is responsiveness. So that's why we're flipping the boots over and taking a look at their sole plates. Now the ones which I've got, the Pure Control Sprint Frame, very popular, been around for a long time, and I think it's here to stay for another long time to come. Now on the new Nemeziz we've got torsion frame, but on Messi's variation, that comes with the sprint frame again that we saw on his previous model. So there's actually two types of variations on those Nemeziz boots. One for us and then one for Messi. But which ones have you got?
Now the same sole plate on those three boots is pretty much what you see on the X17 Plus Pure Speed. Same sole plate from the Pure Chaos. Again, it's sprint frame, you've got that chrome coating on top so it will flake away. And overall, sprint frame is a very high quality material for a sole plate, which is why Adidas have used it on more of their boots. And on the glitch, this is probably the most unique sole plate. So we don't see the sole plate on the outer skin because it just flops away like that. It pretty much has the same sort of structure as sprint frame in terms of stud design. And overall, the strength and rigidity comes from the inner shoe of the glitch. So you've got the external heel counter here, it slides right in and it provides all that rigidity that you need in the glitch.
So let's not mess around. We've just spoken about the sole plate, so let's stick with the outsole and talk about the stud configurations. Now for me, it's actually one part of Adidas football boots which I don't actually like. I don't feel like this high level traction, especially compared to Nike's FG studs. I think they are very aggressive. But like we said, lots of different ones going on with these elite tier boots. We've got conical shaped studs on the Pure Control, really good depth on those ones. Then we've got those half moon shapes on the Nemeziz, and also on the Messi Nemeziz we've got the Gamba tracks one we saw a couple of silos ago. But Blade's got some different ones on the X boots and the glitch.
So they're sort of semi-conical, so they're teardrop shaped studs, and on the glitch and on the Pure Speed they're exactly the same. But one thing which is the same on all Adidas boots is the stud configuration. So they've all got 4 heel studs and they've all got those same configurations on the forefoot. So if you count them up, there's 7 on the forefoot and 4 on the heel. So the same stud configurations on Adidas's 5 pro level footwear boots. I would go with the torsion frame and the stud design of the Nemeziz. Which one would you go for?
I would all day long go with the sprint frame of the Pure Control, and those conical shaped studs, although they are traditional, they've actually got some really good depth like I said, so you can actually get some really good traction on FG surfaces. So guys, let's be honest, weight on a pair of football boots doesn't really make a massive difference in this day of age, because at the end of the day, they are still pretty lightweight. But saying that, Blake has got a little surprise up his sleeve about one of the pair of boots he's holding. Now the lightest pair of boots here are the Pure Speeds at about 200 grams, and then the second ones are the Nemeziz at 210 grams. So overall, very lightweight. But Blake, take it away with your little surprise.
So Adidas' third heaviest boot is of course the ACE17 Plus Pure Control, sitting around that 230 gram mark. So again, not that heavy. 30 grams is the difference between these three boots, but this one here, when you talk about the separate inner shoe and the separate outer shoe, they're very lightweight, but put them together, they're over 300 grams. So that's the heaviest modern day football boot I've heard of in a long time. Something like the Adidas Predator Mania back in 2002 was similar in terms of weight, but that's so heavy for a modern day football boot. So price wise, which is the most expensive and which is the cheapest in Adidas' pro level boots? Now £250 is what you get for the Pure Speed, Pure Control and a Glitch starter pack. So again, quite expensive, quite high end in terms of price you're paying for football boots. Again, Pure Control and Pure Speed, I think it's worth it, £250. But what you get for a Glitch, you get an outer skin and an outer skin and an inner shoe for £250 in terms of value for money. I think the Glitch is the best. What price are we seeing on the Nemeziz?
Do you know what, guys? This for me is actually a little bit of a joke, because those pair of boots that Blake has just mentioned are still very expensive. They might be worth it in terms of performance, comfort, durability, but still very expensive. But the Nemeziz takes it to all new levels. £280 for one of these boots that I'm holding in my hands. Unbelievable amount of money. That seriously is expensive. Now, one problem which I had is that we've just spoken about the boots' weight. 200 grams these are about. I don't think any pair of boots on the market should cost more than how much they weigh. So these being £280 and weighing 200 grams, I think that's a bit outrageous. I think all these boots that we've got today should be about £180 to 200. So for me, just a little bit too expensive. So you guys have been watching this video and you like one specific pair of boots that we have. You want to go buy them, but one thing you need to know is the actual fit. Now the narrowest ones are going to be the Glitch, not because the overall shape of them are very slim, but because of that compression stock inside, it's a very snug fit overall. So if you have wide feet, I'd actually stay clear of the Glitch. Now one pair of boots which is absolutely perfect for me, which I love the fit and feel, is the Nemeziz. So if you've got universal shaped feet like me, these are a great option for you. And that's pretty much the same with the Pure Speeds as well. Although they are kind of an attack-minded speed boot, the fit isn't overall narrow. So you can get away with these as well if you have wide feet. But Blake has the widest feet I've ever seen on a human being. So which one is the best for you?
So obviously I'm going to go for something like the ACE17 Plus Pure Control. I could go for the Primer, but in terms of the pro level ones, I'm going for the Pure Control based on the fact that it's going to suit my wide feet much better. The silhouette, the high profile of this boot makes it so much better than the Pure Chaos.
So we get into the crunch time part of the video, because me and Blake are going to be picking the boots that we will go into a shop, pick them off the shelf and then choose which ones we'd pay the money for. So Blake, you pick first.
I'm going for something which is going to suit my wide feet perfectly, which is again the ACE17 Plus Pure Control. Maddie, what are you going for?
Do you know what? The pair of boots I'm going for is the Nemeziz. I think it's so high tech, I love it. Two little problems. Firstly, the price, a little bit too expensive, and also I wish there wasn't a little bit of the bobble on the heel to give me a blister. But overall, really good products by Adidas, a lot of money, but you are kind of getting a very high level product for that. But what about you guys? Vote in a poll card now for your own personal favourite out of the ones we've shown in this video, and comment as well why you would pick that pair of boots. But as I said, that wraps up today's video, guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching as always.
We'll see you next time.